We are in the home stretch of Thanksgiving food FAQers. I am so excited to talk about pie today.
I love good pie.
Pie is the only dessert that you should have on your table for Thanksgiving. I don't care what anybody tells me.
It's really the only time of the year I eat pie.
Right. I mean, honestly, this is the time to eat pie. Even for Christmas. Like Christmas, I'll have cookies or turrones or whatever. It's like an afterthought. But what was that?
That's a riot. No, I'm agreeing with you. Stop being so sensitive.
Oh my God. Eric's in a mood today, so let's all be cognizant of that little deal.
I was eating a fucking clementine and just agreeing with you.
Was it a pre-peeled clementine?
No, they don't have those. They only have pre-peeled tangerines.
Oh, I don't really know if I know the difference. But anyway.
Clementines were made to be easy peel, Maddie.
Oh, and so are tangerines.
No, not like a clementine.
This is a debate for another day.
Okay,
but pie. Okay, so to me, there's only two pies that you should be serving on Thanksgiving, and it's going to be pumpkin and pecan.
Yes, pecan.
Okay, so I want you to start with your pecan pie recipe because I feel like I've never had it, but I want to put it in my mouth.
Made it a couple times. It's good. I don't make it every year. I'm probably gonna make it this year. I don't make it every year. Maybe every other year. First of all, it's pecan.
Mm-hmm.
Not pecan. Okay. How you said it. Okay. So, here's the other thing, Maddie. I don't make my own crust.
No, never, honestly.
I don't make my own crust. It's a waste of fucking time.
I've tried, right? But I don't give a shit enough, honestly.
To me, I mean the pie for the filling.
Mm-hmm.
Even though good crust is important. But
right.
Even when people are like, oh, this is a good crust, I half the time don't eat the full crust.
Well, I like to eat the little tippy top part, like
that's what I hate.
Oh, yeah, you're wrong. I like that. That's where I start. I start at the little crunchy bits on top.
I start the crunchy bits so I can get rid of it.
Nobody's making you, just so you know. There's no law. You have to eat it all.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Bad relationship with food, so I have to eat it.
You're like at gunpoint with the flaky crust.
I hate that part. I like the under part crust, like the soft part.
We're a perfect pair, Keeter. I eat the crunchy, you eat the softies.
Also, next time we're eating pie.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about this. Well, first of all, what is it called? Because it's special.
It's special because it's a bourbon chocolate chip pecan pie.
Man, that sounds fucking good.
Oh God, it's so good.
Okay, get in there.
Get a good pie crust.
Yeah.
Get a good pie crust. Preheat oven 350 degrees. You're gonna get about a cup of pecan halves.
Wait, I already have a question.
Yeah.
Do you blind bake your pie crust beforehand, or you just fucking put it all in there, even with it frozen?
I don't blind bake it.
Okay, go.
I probably should. It'll probably be a better experience, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't blind bake it. All right. So 1 cup of pecan halves. We're going to do 1 cup of dark corn syrup. You got about 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of sugar. This is really sweet. And then 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips.
Okay.
1/3 of a cup of whiskey, or bourbon, 3 eggs, and vanilla. So this goes in a 10-inch pie crust, by the way. So in a saucepan, go ahead and on a medium heat, you don't want to burn it. You're going to go ahead. You're going to heat your butter, sugar, vanilla, and corn syrup until it's all blended together. Okay. Let it simmer for about 5 minutes to really get everything melted. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to let it stand for 10 minutes. And you're going to cool it down because what's going to happen is now you're going to whisk your eggs in a separate little bowl. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to combine that corn syrup mixture with your eggs. So honestly, you're just letting it cool down a bit just so you don't cook your eggs.
Right.
That's all you're doing. Okay. And then when that's all done, you're going to go ahead, you're going to dump in your bourbon and you're going to dump in your pecans and you're going to mix it all together. Mm-hmm. And you pour it in the pie crust and you bake for 1 hour. Done.
That's it?
Pull it out. That's it. That's a pecan pie. And this is a better one because it has chocolate and bourbon. When you pull it out, the center is going to be a little firm because you're going to have the pecans rise to the top. Mm-hmm. But it's still going to be a little jiggly.
Right.
So that's totally okay. Pecan pie is not meant to be consumed hot. You have to let everything solidify and, get all nice and goopy in there. So you don't eat it hot. I actually prefer to make a pecan pie the day before.
Yes. I like to make all the pies the day before.
Yep, all the pies the day before. Well, because pies take up oven space
Mm-hmm.
and they usually take a while.
Yeah. And I think like a pie needs time to like familiarize itself with the ingredients a little bit and just sit. Because when you eat it right away, the flavor is just not nearly as complex as it is when you let it sit for a little while.
Right.
And I like to refrigerate personally, but
I do too.
Yeah. If you don't, you can refrigerate overnight and then take it out during the day and let it come to room temp before dinner. Yep. If you prefer it that way.
I like it cold.
I like it cold too. So wait, I have a question so I have made pecan pie to no avail many times and they're always terrible. I'm not a good pecan pie maker. For some reason, like they always like dribble out and like get like burnt. And why is that? What am I doing wrong?
And sometimes I think when it comes to pecan pie, like don't complex it. Cook it at a low temperature. So if you notice, it's like 350, low temperature for about an hour. And I think the thing too, when it comes to pecan pie is that because it's such a simple recipe. So I think two things. One thing is, and that's what I think, people don't realize that it's going to be a little jiggly and it's supposed to be. It's not going to be firm. Okay. I think that's number one. I think the second thing also is I think it's really important to let that cooling period happen before we bake it. And I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong about this. But I just think if your pie is too goopy, then obviously maybe you need a more corn syrup in there, or something else. But I don't know what it is, Maddie. I firmly believe letting that, and I can be completely wrong. You and I are not, professional bakers here.
We're home cooks.
We're home cooks. Exactly.
Yep.
So, but I believe that resting period just lets things just kind of coagulate a little bit.
You mean like the resting period between marrying the eggs and the corn syrup?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that theory. I think it makes sense.
And it can be completely wrong. And someone can chime in and tell us.
Yeah. If you have a
why,
shit.
Maybe the pecan pie is coming too loose. The other thing too is, under baking it is going to make it kind of loose also. Pecan pie is a tricky little beast.
They are, right? And I feel like they shouldn't be because they're just a bunch of goopy shit together. I mean,
it's just goopy shit put together. But that goopy shit has to make some form of, solidifying action occur. And it only solidifies because of corn syrup and sugar.
But you know what I like about this recipe? I think the chocolate probably adds a little bit of like body to the mixture.
It adds a little bite to it. It adds a little body to it. And here's the thing, and me, I love really sweet stuff. Really make sure it is semi-sweet chocolate because the pecan pie is so sweet already. You already have corn syrup. You already have a cup of sugar in there. It's so sweet. But what I like about this recipe is even though I love sickeningly sweet pecan pies, the bourbon in it just gives it like this really nice hit. That's just really good. And yes, the bourbon will cook out. So it is totally safe for everybody to enjoy it.
But I use rum.
Dark rum, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I think I have that. I'm going to make this Thanksgiving. My husband loves pecan pie and I have.
Now, I will say though, rum, even though it's dark, and bourbon have very different flavors to it.
Yeah.
And I can get into that with the next episode when we talk about ham and stuff like that. I'll get into that because I did switch it around a little bit one year and it was fine. But I think honestly, if you do a spiced rum, I don't think it should be that big of a deal. It's going to give it a completely different flavor than this bourbon one will, but it should be a good flavor.
I like this. I'm going to try this myself. I'm very excited about it. And you've talked to me about this pie for ages and I've never made it before.
And like I said, I do it only maybe every couple of years. I like to switch things up a little bit.
Are you making it this year?
I think I might. This is my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to make it too. And then I'm going to call you for pointers. So get ready.
Do it. What's next? What do you got?
Okay. And then on the other side of this, we have pumpkin pie, which I'm sure you had. Pumpkin pie. I don't know if it's ever bad, right? Because you can buy like a shitty pumpkin pie from the grocery store and it's fine, right?
Right.
But I really enjoy a pumpkin pie that has body to it. And to achieve that, I like to add condensed milk to it. Have you ever had a pumpkin pie with condensed milk?
No, I don't think so.
It's my favorite because it really adds like, you know how like sometimes you eat pumpkin pie and it has that like pumpkin-y feel? Like when you put it in your mouth. Yes. Yeah. I hate that shit. It should be a pie. Like. Yeah. A pie, like that has like a goopy, sweet, juicy texture, not something that feels like you're eating a vegetable because nobody wants to eat a fucking vegetable in their pie.
Right.
This recipe, first of all, I like to make a crust with ginger snaps. So the crust is ginger snap. Yes, it's so good. I'm going to add this recipe to possibly send it out to our email subscribers. If you're not a part of it yet, get on our show notes. We have a link for Substack, so you can get our special recipes sent directly to your inbox. And I think I'm going to share this one because I don't have a link to share for it. So I will absolutely write the recipe, but it's your basic stuff. It's got sugar and cinnamon and salt and ginger and cloves and nutmeg. It has eggs, an egg yolk. This batter is like, it's got thick, juicy body to it. Okay.
It does sound good. And
then it has heavy cream in it and a little bit of maple syrup because I love maple syrup with pumpkin pie.
I've never had it with I've never put maple syrup in my pumpkin pie.
There's a place for it. Okay. There is a place for it. I really enjoy it.
It's really good.
Yeah. There's like and if you can get like a dark maple syrup, you know, like the ones that are super amber.
Right.
I don't know. It just adds like a depth of flavor to it. To me, I feel like I'm in a cabin in Vermont somewhere having this pie. And then with the ginger snaps, forget about it. And if you don't like ginger snaps, you can really use any cookie you like.
The ginger snap sounds really good.
Yes, I really enjoy it. But if you don't like them, you can use listen, the crust is your playground. You can make a crust out of literally any cookie and you can substitute it for the same amount that I'm going to tell you in the recipe that we send to your email. And then you just bake it 325 for about 60 to 75 minutes. And it's easy peasy. You just add all the stuff together and you dump it in there. Pies are really uncomplicated beasts, you know?
They should be.
Right. If you have a good recipe, honestly, the magic just happens in the oven somehow. There's a little fairy gnome pie person inside the oven that makes...
Her name is Mariela.
With the heat and like all the juicy goodness in there, forget it. It happens in the oven and then with the cooling. Pies are about time. Like time is an ingredient that we don't talk about enough in cooking, correct. But in baking, it is an ingredient. Time is an ingredient in baking. Just like when you make cookies, you have to refrigerate that dough and give it time to meld. Just like when you bake a pie, you have to bake it low and slow. And then afterward, you need to give it time. It has to come to room temperature naturally. Because otherwise, all these delicious things you're putting in there, you're rushing it and it doesn't give you its full potential. And that's what we're here for. We want to eat the best pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving possible.
Right. Gilding the daisies.
Gilding the pumpkin patch.
That's right.
And I know people make other stuff. I mean, you can make a bread pudding or you can make, I don't know, what else could you make for Thanksgiving, Eric? To me, it's like negligible.
It's a pie. It's a pie day. I'm going to deal with it. It's a pie day. Stick with the pies and do that. I really love that ginger snap crust. That sounds freaking delicious.
So good.
I do love that. And if you love everything wonderful in life, which is pecans, chocolate, bourbon, and sugar, you're going to love this.
Did you say dark corn syrup?
That means dark corn syrup. Yeah.
Man.
Dark corn syrup.
Is there a link for that recipe or do you have it in your head?
I'll find it. Yep. I got you.
Okay, we're going to add that link in there too, and we'll send you the pumpkin pie recipe. Man, we're almost done with this.
I'm telling you, I know, this is so exciting. Next episode's going to be like...
The Grand Dame.
The fuck is with you and all these words? Like, last episode you had words.
I have words, like, yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's like you're reading like a dictionary before you get on.
I'm not.
And do this with me.
I am
I'm like a thesaurus. Like you're just like.
I'm hardly wearing pants. I just want to tell you there is no thesaurus.
No one needs to know that. This is a shock to me.
Oh, of course.
I'm in a hoodie and sweatpants, so.
You're in your, what do they call it? Your hillbilly tuxedo. What do they call that?
No, it's my weekend attire.
It's your weekend uniform. That's what it is.
It sure is. Cause tomorrow, guess what? Gotta go back and wear normal people clothes.
Oh my God, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, okay, you guys. So these are the two pies that we recommend you make. They're easy. They're delicious. Oh, and also when you bake a pie, make sure that you put it on a lined baking sheet in the oven. I do this because if your pie spills over.
Yeah.
You need some insurance. And you can't bake 2 pies at the same time unless they're
Nope.
side by side. Okay?
Yep.
So don't fuck around and find out. You don't want to do that.
Yep. Completely right.
Okay? So make sure that you're also doing good things to your pie. And if you see that your crust is burning, go ahead and put a little bit of aluminum foil around the edge of the pie so you can protect it while the middle cooks. That's another good tip.
Yeah.
Any other good tips? I think that's good. I like to
but
make
I think what is very important is the baking sheet underneath
yes
the pie. That's very important because when you burn your oven, you're just screwed the rest of the day. You got to clean that off. If not, it's going to smoke the whole day.
Yeah, and cleaning an oven is a giant pain in the ass.
Especially in the middle of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Ooh, nobody fucking needs that. So yeah, take our tips and tricks and we will send you our recipes. And we're so excited because we're on the last installment next.
It's
Stay tuned.
happening.
Yes. Tomorrow we're going to give you all the protein you can handle.
Oh boy.
All the meat, your mouth.
Mariela, this
Mustard.
is not a spatchcock episode, okay?
They're all spatchcock episodes here. I have a problem.
You bring the spatchcock out in me.
You're always taking your own spatchcock out. You don't need a lot of encouragement, okay?
Yeah, well, you just reinforce it.
Okay, you guys, we will catch up tomorrow and we're going to finish up this fantastic fucking meal. I cannot wait.
Me too.
See you tomorrow,
Bye-bye.
guys.